Hey everyone, it's Richard Metal Fan here, bringing you guys an old school album review. And today we're going to be looking into this album's 40th anniversary. It's from the debut album from this man, which I definitely don't need to introduce. But as you can see below the title, today we're going to be reviewing Blizzard of Oz by Ozzy Osbourne, his debut solo album released on September 20th, 1980 through Epic Records, if I'm not mistaken. Now, let's go back to around 1979. It's very much the end of the 70s, or probably that leading up into the new decade, in 1980. But Ozzy Osbourne, of course, was in Black Sabbath at the time, but I was around that time, 1980, he was like fired or did left or something. I don't even know what it was, but then he left. But then I think it was around that time he pretty much decided why not do a solo career. I've heard originally this was gonna Blizzard of Oz was gonna be like his band name, the Blizzard of Oz. So I heard it was like billed at some point, but I guess they decided to just I don't know. I'm probably wrong, but I just heard that's from what I heard. But this was actually decided to become the name of the album, and of course, this album I think is a really good album to start off his little solo run. Just the production is solid, especially coming from 1980. It's amazing. I don't even know what to say. I know I keep saying that, but seriously, it's great. Um, Vocally, like Ozzy just sounds really good right here. He sounds really clear. And this is pretty much the first lineup album with the OG like subtle lineup. That's just the guitars from what can I say about the late great Randy Rhoads, one of the best, if not the one of the best metal rock guitarists of all time. Like he shreds like has pretty much his signature riffs that you hear on this song is pretty much when you first hear it is like yeah that I know that is. The bass is pretty audible. Bob Daisley's bass, you could definitely hear it well in the mix, especially like in songs like Crazy Train and stuff, which we'll get into later. Or it's real. Once you hear it, it's like, yeah, I know where that is. And drumming wise, Lee Kerslake's drumming, I mean, he pretty much keeps a really solid beat with this. So, yeah, without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. Now, starting things off is I Don't Know, which has an amazing, just heavy guitar or riff in there. I don't know. It's just a really good way to start off this album. Just Ozzy just sounds really great. Like just showing like, hey, even if I'm not in Black Sabbath anymore, I could still rock solo, and he definitely showcases as well with this song. A pretty great way to start off this album, and then we move on to the song Crazy Train, which I definitely needs no introduction. This is pretty much the well-known song from this album, and this is really what capitulated Ozzy's solo career. From Ozzy's vocals to that guitar riff, this is an 80s metal song that everybody should hear. Here, just when Ozzy just screams, all aboard, and laughs, and then you hear that one riff, that no. It gets you really just pumping. And a lot of people would think this song is overrated, but I really don't give a fuck. I like this song. Well, it's just catchy. What can I say? Moving on to Goodbye to Romance. And this is one that you think you probably will like. It has a pretty good melody, and Ozzy's vocals just sound really good. It has a really great chorus, like especially like Goodbye to Romance, Goodbye to Friends, and a solo by Randy that fits it really just perfectly. And this is actually a ballad on here, but it's actually one of the best ballads. That's pretty good. Moving on to D, which is a pretty shorter song. I mean, it's just a little short instrumental with like Randy Rhoads just playing like an acoustic guitar or something. It's pretty short, but then it leads into the next song, which is Suicide Solution, which is kind of like a return to just the heavy metal sound, and it's a pretty good song. But this was actually a really weird controversial song because this was around the time where Ozzy Osbourne was sued by some kids of some parents of some kids that killed himself after listening to his songs, and I feel like Ozzy was advocating suicide, which I definitely don't see that. And of course, this kind of reminds me of that whole thing with Judas Priest when they got sued for Better by You, Better by Me in like 1990 or something, but I think almost like a decade later. But yeah, it's just, but overall, I think it's a pretty good song, but it's just kind of like the weird fucked up like situation that this song was talked about or what happened in there. But yeah, then we move on to the next song on here, Mr. Crowley, which it's just the most ominous song ever, just with the kind of like keyboards and stuff, and pretty mid-paced song. It's really just slow, that really, really good song, especially when Ozzy has like a very immense atmosphere, especially when he sings like Mr. Crowley. Like, it's a pretty good song, and it has a really great solo at the end, which overall another good song. Then we go on to No Bones Movies, which a lot of people would say that this song is a filler song, but I don't even think so. It's just a flat out rocker. Has Ozzy's vocals just sound pretty good, and an absolutely great riff from Randy, and a great solo coming in, especially around a minute and 45 seconds. And Lee Aldridge's drumming is pretty much a highlight here, and I feel like it just sounds more awesome than on most of the songs. Then we move on to Revelation Mother Earth. Now this song is a kind of like a slowish kind of like ballad, which kind of lyrically talks about like the end of the world. I feel like it's a very soulful song. It just gets harder as it just like moves on throughout over here. Then the album closes with Steal Away the Night. Now this is another hard rocker that just never fails to disappoint, and this is probably in my opinion the fastest song on the album, and just Randy's riff is just pure, just insane. Just a great chorus in here and a killer solo, and a pretty good way to end this album. Now overall, Blizzard of Oz by Ozzy Osbourne is a really good way to start off his career or solo career, I should say. So if I had to give this album a score, I'm probably going to give this a solid 10 out of 10. I might be biased. I know a lot of people would think like Crazy Train or Mr. Crowley is kind of overrated. Well, it's mostly Crazy Train, but I really don't give a fuck. It's a great song or a great album. So yeah, that's my review of Blizzard of Oz, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the album, and I'll see you all in the next video. And as always, keep it metal.